got Mark coming to you tonight on the Garageguy channel. It is December 30th, 2018. I want to say to everybody, I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and hope everyone has a good and safe start to the new year. This video is Garageguy's 2018 in review, and it's going to be about, well, my year in review as far as firearms go. Okay, got several different things I want to show you and tell you about, but before I get started, I want everybody to be aware, since this is a new year coming up, make good and sure you get online or whatever and you check and make sure in your state or in Canada, in your province, if there's any new gun laws coming into effect, because you don't want to be caught unprepared here in a day or two. Alright, I'd hate to see that happen to anybody. Get online and make sure if there's any new gun laws coming into effect. Now, some states here in Virginia, some years, the gun laws go into effect not only January 1st, but sometimes maybe July 1st. You know, it's happened before. Just wanted to tell y'all about that, okay? Be sure and check. You don't want to get caught, in a bad situation. Also, I'd like to start out this video with giving a shout out to a channel that's not from around here, but as a matter of fact, they are from Ukraine. I'm talking about Guns Review. I've been watching them for a couple of years now. They got a really excellent channel. One of the perks to have been married to a Russian woman is I still understand some of the language. I'm able to get the gist of their video, but you can still tell what's going on by what they do on there. That's how good a channel I think it is. And every time I've had a question, I'd type it down in the comments section in English, and they would always promptly answer me back in English. So, Guns Review, Privyet, Как дела? Happy New Year. Alright. Well, what do you say we get on with the first part of this video here? There were two things I did in 2018 firearm related that I had not did before. Let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Alright, my friends, one of the things I did in 2018 for the first time was to purchase a law enforcement trade-in firearm. We've all seen this on my channel before, not that long ago. This is a Smith & Wesson Model 64-7 chambered in 38 Special. It is 38 Special plus P capable. Matter of fact, it fires in plus P rounds like, well, like nothing, This revolver can handle plus P, no problem. Alright, as far as a lot of law enforcement trade-ins go, some of them, it depends on how old they are, how much you've been used, especially the ones with the blued finished. You got a lot of holster wear on them and probably some rust, depending if they've been near a coastal area or whatever. And this one right here, like I said on an initial video, I doubt if this thing had 200 rounds put through it. It's probably about 15 years old. I'd say this one right here was only used to qualify with. I ever get the chance to pick up some more law enforcement trade-in firearms, I'm definitely going to go for it, but I am going to ask some people advice before I do pull the trigger on the deal. But this one right here, if I had it to do over again, I would have bought two of them. Alright. Something else I did back in 2018, this year for the first time. You could call it factory rebuilt, or you could call it factory refurbished, as Glock does. I bought a factory refurbished Glock for the very first time, and I believe that was back in February. Now, this is the Model 21 Gen 4 I bought about a month ago, but the one, and this is factory refurbished. But the first one I bought, I don't have it no more, and that was back in February. It was a Glock 41. But the barrel to me was and slide was a little bit too long. Sold it to my buddy Patrick. He just likes to get out and plink and target shoot me. You know, I wanted something a little more practical. I went ahead and sold it to him. And when my local dealer, Highland Arms in Abingdon, got in another shipment of factory refurbished Glocks, they had this one. They had a Gen 3 23 and they had a Gen 4 19. They gave me a call. I went down there, and of course I picked a 21. Had the Talon rubberized grips on it, and as we saw from the initial video, looked like brand new. Works like brand new. It's nice. So factory rebuilt or factory refurbished Glocks, yeah, that was another first for me in 2018. And yes, I will do it again in 2019 if the opportunity arises. Alright my friends, this segment of the video is my biggest disappointment of 2018. What we're looking at right here is a Ruger Mark IV Standard Chamberlain 22 LR. And the other gun I was almost disappointed in the most was a Sky CPX2. And the problem I'd had with it, well, it wasn't the fault of the gun, it was my fault. I was putting 11 rounds of ammo in the magazines when they're only supposed to have 10. So that was on me, so I'm not going to count that. But this right here, I did a video about this pistol last month in November when I got it. But earlier this year, I had bought another one, brand new from Buds. I believe it was January. Anyhow, I started to do the video on it, and I did the shooting part of it. And after I got finished shooting, I noticed this frame pin right back here was sticking halfway out. And I was like, oh no man, not a Ruger, you know. But I tapped it back in, and I put a little drop of Loctite on each side of it. Didn't have no more problem with it. Then a few weeks later I find out that Ruger says not to put Loctite on it. That pin, there's something on the inside that has something to do with it or what. And I was like, well heck, I really got aggravated about that. And I'm like, gee, I've already Loctited it. I might have voided the warranty on it. And a neighbor of mine who I'd let shoot the gun, and he knew about that problem. He said, tell you what, Mark, I'll just buy it off of you, and if I have a problem, I'll just send it back to Ruger. I was like, cool, problem solved. I won't have to deal with it. Well, he got it, and he did send it back to Ruger, and Ruger fixed it, and so far, so good. He's put a couple of thousand rounds through it since he got it from me, and it's working well. Anyhow, I got to missing it, and so I went ahead and ordered another one. Haven't had a bit of problem with this little guy right here. Frame pin's still holding in real nice, real easy, no problem. Very accurate right out of the box. I'm very well pleased with it. But my biggest disappointment of 2018 was the first Ruger Mark IV Standard I bought back in January. Anyhow, that leads us into this part. My favorite purchase of 2018. It came down between this little revolver right here. We've seen this here on YouTube a few times. Taurus M856 Chamberlain 38 Special. It's got a 6-round capacity, single and double action, and it is plus P rated. And I really am enjoying this. I carry it quite often. But then I gave it a little more thought, and I'm like, well, maybe it's my second favorite purchase of 2018. My favorite purchase of 2018, right here, my friends. Smith & Wesson 2.0 non-compact. Of course, chambered 9mm. 15 round plus 1 capacity, and I have really enjoyed this. I picked this up, I believe it was in March this year. Ordered it from Buds, as I had most of my guns this past year. And I've nary bit of trouble with it. None whatsoever. The only complaint I had about it when I did the first video, I felt like the trigger was too curved. And in that first video, I was talking about where my thumb, after I'd put a few shots through it, would end up down here at the bottom of the trigger on that pointy end right there. But eventually what I ended up doing, I put the largest palm swell on the back here that it came with. And that problem seemed to go away. I don't know if I was paying more attention to it or if it was the bigger palm swell on it, but I haven't had that problem since. And I've also put on some rubberized Talon grips. Makes a world of difference. The stippling on here without the grips was pretty aggressive and did scratch my side up a little bit when I'd conceal carry this. Those Talon grips have took care of that problem. I mean, they just fit on here really nice. Got them off eBay, I believe, for like 17 bucks. But this here has been a really sweet and straight shooter. By far my favorite purchase, the purchase I'm most satisfied with of 2018. Let's watch me take a few shots with it here. Alright my friends, take a few shots with my favorite firearm purchase, 2018, Smith & Wesson Non-Compact 2.0. This part of the video is about the viewer comment that had the biggest impact on me in 2018, and it had to do with plus P ammunition. In some of my earlier videos along the line there, I've always said, you know, I never really thought plus P would be necessary. A lot of people had that same thought. But this comment here really got me to thinking about it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. What we're looking at right here, my friends, is a shot of my computer screen, and I have a video here paused on it. And the name of this video is Taurus M856. Neat and sweet. Like I said, I uploaded it back October 15th. And in this video, I had mentioned that I never did see the need for plus P ammo. I'd always carried, you know, standard pressure, nothing plus P rated. I have, you know, went out and fired it through a lot of my pistols and revolvers, you know, but I never did see the need for it, honestly. But there was one person left a comment here, and I'll scroll down. It's, let's see, first, second, third comment. And the person's screen name is Old Cop. And if you want to check this out for yourself, go to my video, Taurus M856, neat and sweet, and you can read what he said. But right now I'm going to read it to you. I have it wrote down here on a piece of paper to the side. Old Cop said, "If you don't think you need plus P, think again. As a retired cop who survived 3 on-duty shootings, 1 with standard pressure 38 and 2 with plus P, I can tell you it makes a big difference." And the word big, he's got typed in caps. Do what you want. Just my 2 cents. Well, that got me to thinking, and I replied back to him and told him, said, well, look, I'll be going out and getting some plus P rounds and putting it through the paces. Then I asked him what model firearms he used, you know, during these shootings, but he never did reply back. But that did get me to thinking. Well, that really got me to thinking, so I went up to Wally World and got a couple of 100 rounds of Remington plus P 38 special ammunition. I found some old inanimate objects and did some comparison shooting. And of course the 38 plus P did a lot more damage. You know, that was a no-brainer. And the only difference when shooting it out of this little revolver was maybe, you know, a bigger fireball coming out the end of the barrel and a little more vibration in the grip, but it was still very manageable. So whenever I am carrying this, I always have these Remington Plus P hollow points right here in the cylinder. Well, I'll tell you what, my friends, as far as Plus P goes, I'm only talking about 38 Special and 9mm. If I'm carrying 357 SIG or Magnum or 45 ACP, then I'll stick to what I said originally. I don't see the need for Plus P in those rounds. But after doing that comparative testing with the 38 Special Plus P, yeah, that little Taurus revolver, when I'm carrying it, it will be loaded with 38 Plus P, and any 9mm pistol I'm carrying will be loaded with 9mm Plus P. Alright, now let's get on to the next topic. Alright, my friends, the best advice I could give you about two firearms from 2018 would be where I did a comparison video with the Taurus G2S, and I also had a G2 111. Well, the G2 111 is pretty much the same as the G2C they're putting out now. Doesn't have the key lock on it, and the G2C seems to have the better trigger. But anyway, if you're on the fence about getting either the G2C or the G2S, I'm going to tell you the conclusion I come to at the end of my video. Get the G2C. Okay, the only difference between it and a G2S, the grip might be a shade wider than the G2S. Okay, plus G2C, you got an extra 5-round capacity. They cost about the same. Get the G2C, my friends. You will not be disappointed. Both are good pistols, but G2C over G2S. That's for you Taurus people out there. Now this part of the video is about the video I enjoyed making the most in 2018, and the reason for that is right here in front of us. We've seen this before. This is the Ruger Deerfield carbine, and it is chambered in 44 Magnum, 4+1 capacity. It's got a Barska 3x9x40 scope on it, real nice scope. And I gotta say, this is one sweet shooter. I have really enjoyed using this. It belongs to my good friend Joe from over in Saltville, Virginia. And he's had it, I believe, since '97. And he is the only owner. He bought this new. Anyhow, as you can see, it even still has the original leather strap on it. Ruger, pretty nice. Now, they discontinued this model. A lot of people was claiming there was some design flaws in it, and some people were having a lot of malfunctions. You know, that's from what I gathered in my research. But this one right here, Joe's taken a lot of deer with it, and never had a problem with it. When it comes to, you know, my favorite videos, I would usually say, well, it's probably where me and a bunch of the guys got together and did a whole lot of shooting. That's true, but, you know, the guns we were shooting were pretty common, you know, easy to get a hold of. But this one right here, matter of fact, this is the only one I've seen. And she runs like a champ. I'll just tell you that right now. I don't know what these things cost new back in the day. I really don't know what this thing would be worth today, but I do know that Joe has informed me when I asked him about if he'd sell it, he just smiled and said, "Mark, you don't have enough money, bud." I don't blame him for saying that one bit. I would probably tell him the same thing if this was mine and he asked me that same question. I made some video footage of shooting this earlier today. What do you say we go ahead, take a look at it? Alright, my friends, got the Ruger Deerfield 44 Magnum carbine right here. Going to take 4 shots at the scrap steel targets over to the left. Safety off. Round chamber. Oh yeah. How about that one hanging from the tree? .44 Magnum. Oh, you gotta love it. Okay, my friends. About 5 yards back, Ruger Deerfield Combine. 4 shots, 5 yards back. Safety off. Round chamber. Alright. Let's see if I have to adjust the camera downwards any. Maybe just a little bit. Let's take the next 3 shots, see where it takes us. Oh yeah. Well, that's pretty much the end of that. How about these steel targets? Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yep, I love shooting it so much, you actually saw me give it a hug. Oh, and what about that frozen bottle of bonding adhesive? Yeah, 44 Magnum goodness coming out of a 16-inch barrel. Yeah, that thing didn't stand a chance, did it? Ruger Deerfield Carbine. Yep. That was my favorite video I enjoyed making the most in 2018. Why? Because of this right here in front of me. Well, everybody, look, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was my take on my year in review 2018. This will be 41 videos I made in 2018, and I really enjoyed doing each and every one of them. I want to thank you for all the comments, and I want to thank all the subscribers, and I hope the information I brought to you on these videos, you know, can be helpful if you're trying to decide on one firearm over another. Okay, I may say, well, this firearm's good, and this in here might not be much. Your results might be totally different, you know, vice versa. That stuff happens. But hopefully the video's been helpful. I appreciate you watching, okay? Y'all have a happy new year.